I'm black.
I'm the beast.
I'm black.
Y'all are back.
Yeah, we're back.
Man, we've been
Another
back.
podcast about relationships, trauma, and manipulation.
Woo. It was a close one.
Boom.
Woo. That was a close one. What's poppin'?
How you doing?
I'm here.
Happy Father's Day.
Is it Father's Day?
It was. That's what.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We talked about that, man. You know, we didn't get a whole lot of love on that one, but I figured we would. You know, just the nature of the beast. I'm done with it. I'm used to it. 39 years. It's been the same way the whole time. Oh well.
That's fucked up.
It's the truth.
We're gonna work on that.
Yeah.
What we're talking about today is relationships, trauma, and manipulation. And what made you want to talk about this today, my brother?
The reality of it is that they all tie in together, in my opinion. I think a person that's dealing with trauma knows how to manipulate relationships.
Right on.
They don't even know they're doing it to a degree, but they're doing it. And it comes from different things, depending on your trauma. Like we was talking off camera about, we're just now starting to get to the point to where we're even okay with going to therapy.
Right.
So now that Black people are cool with going to therapy, out of, you know, millions of people, it's only probably about 5% that's still okay with going to therapy. And if they ain't going to therapy, they're not getting any help. So if they ain't getting any help, guess what they're doing? They're just taking that trauma from relationship to relationship to relationship, whatever that trauma is, whether it be shit, I don't know, you know, molestation, whether it be with abandonment from a parent, mother, or father, whether it be, you know, there's so many different traumas that we all have. Everybody has a trauma.
Right.
Let's get that out the way. We all have a trauma in some shape, form of our life. Nobody lived a perfect life. So let's just get that out the way.
Right.
The problem is the first thing is admitting that it is a trauma.
And that's a problem for us.
And that's a problem because we don't admit that we have traumas. For some reason, Black people love to make their life look like nothing fucking was wrong. Like it was perfect.
Nothing happened,
that nothing happened, or use it as a crutch. So we either don't use it at all, or we overuse it. There's no in between. So we're either telling the whole world that this happened to me and woe is me, or we're denying that it happened and we just gonna try to live our life like
fight or flight.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
What do you mean?
Fight or flight. You know, those your two instincts when you're faced with danger is fight or flight. So you either gonna tell the world or you're gonna tuck it up. You know, maybe that was our options.
Why are we so ashamed of our traumas? Like, so the reason why you don't talk about your trauma is because you're ashamed of it. You don't want to be judged. You don't want to be looked at differently. You don't want people to think that because that's your trauma, that's who you are. Or like, why is it that
competition? If you knew that I battled with this, that, and the third, then you wouldn't think I was whatever I'm trying to display myself as being, right? Or like for example, if when a girl is lesbian, let's lose lesbians,
Okay.
and then they find out, oh, she was assaulted. Oh, that's why you went. That's why you gay. It's
You
because
know,
you
we
was
do
assaulted,
that. We do
or
that.
something
You're
like
right.
that. So I think in a way we end up designing our path or labeling the path. Like this happened, so I'm like this. This happened, so I'm like this. And we end up using the trauma as development.
So I don't
Right?
want to go.
I know I'm tough because I had to raise me and my siblings. On the alternative, if I didn't have to do that, where would I be? So I used it as kind of encouragement for who I became versus it created something in me that I had to overcome.
Right.
That's maybe just to answer that question. That's how I would see it.
It's got to be something,
Mm-hmm.
because trauma is like a stigma. Like it's something that you try to hide. I'm talking about till you can't hide it no more. Do you know how many people that are in relationships that have been in relationships with this individual for years
And don't know.
and still haven't told them their trauma?
Absolutely.
You wonder why she only want to do it with the lights off?
Mm-hmm.
You wonder why she don't want,
like
why you can't touch her like this, why you can't hold her hand, why you can't. That's all trauma. That's all stigma. That's all something. You feel what I'm saying? So,
but see, in the relationship dynamic, she can say she don't like this or like that with all that, and that becomes her boundaries. But you don't go seeking why she set that boundary. What is behind the boundary? And maybe she don't want to share, or she do share it with you, but that would be my question. And I think when you ask why, when it comes to relationship dynamic, that's when a lot of people get lost, because when they come in a relationship and they ask, what do you bring to the table? You're not saying that shit.
No, you
get what I'm saying? You're saying, I come with, I do this for a living. I got this. I finished school like this.
You want to say all your highlights.
All
your highlights.
This regular, I'm an adult shit. But then you don't bring to the table what you're actually bringing. Like if you was to ask me that, I would tell you I'm bringing a free, open-minded perspective. I'm bringing a platform where we can experience a relationship in love as friends. You know, I would say that's what I'm bringing to the table, because I'm not bringing my career. Right? I'm not bringing my whatever personal attributes I think.
Right, because that's my shit. That ain't our shit. That's my shit.
Right. So when you saying what we bringing to the table in a relationship, we already playing a game. Of our straw man.
We dick fighting on the cool, because we trying to see who can.
And then that competition starts.
Right. So let me ask you this. Now you made me really think about something. So now, are boundaries because of trauma? It makes me really think about that now.
Boundaries can come from any source of things.
No, but I'm just asking you, as us both really, what do we think in this conversation? Do we think boundaries really come from a traumatized place?
A lot of my boundaries came from hurt.
So trauma.
Like this can't happen again. So in place, this is how I need
this
to
is how I roll.
From here forward, you can't, whatever. Right. I can't be in this state of mind again. So because that's what I'm most.
No, relationally, I definitely would say my boundaries are because of my trauma. Like there are certain things that just turns me off with a woman because of my experiences, past experiences. So of course those would be traumas.
Yeah.
So there's just certain triggers about me that I'm like, you do that, it's
I
X.
Go somewhere
like
else.
I'm done. Like I'm zero. Like I don't care how long we've been talking. If that happens, I'm gonna slide.
Yeah, because you know what comes after that.
Right.
You've been there before, and and that's just how you said. That's how I set those boundaries, but it doesn't define me as my character. Like how I feel like you got to wake up a certain time to get ready for the day. Right. Those are different. You get what I'm saying? That's just personal character development.
Absolutely.
But when you talk about how to protect yourself, maybe that does have to come from a place of experience.
So I would ask the people that's chimed in with us are your boundaries a part of your trauma, or are they literally just boundaries that you've set? Now,
caution.
Boundaries are caution.
Precaution.
But also they come from some type of experience. You ain't just create, if I don't, what can I use? If I don't want a woman to shit, give me something. My brain froze. If I don't want a woman to call me baby, that either came from a place of trauma or that's just my boundary if I just don't choose for her to call me pet names. You feel what I'm saying? But 9 times out of 10, that's coming from probably a traumatized place.
What did baby do to you?
Right. So I think, I'm starting to think that, our boundaries are definitely coming from trauma. They're coming from trauma. You don't want to experience that anymore.
You don't care for that to be in your existence. So let that have a line that can't be crossed.
So when we think about trauma in itself, we know, of course, therapy is things, those things, but how can we overcome trauma outside of therapy?
Okay, I don't feel like everyone has to go to a therapist.
I don't either.
Yeah, we shared that conversation before. Yeah. I feel like, but confront yourself honestly will be the most beneficiary. If you can't talk to friends around yourself or in an open concept of a room where you can just share your truth, that alone would help heal you, because you can confront what's wrong with you.
Right.
If we don't acknowledge that something has happened at some point and that there's something we need to do to correct it, it's gonna stay there. So versus you having to go sit into a room, the purpose of therapy is if you get to go meet a person that know nothing about you, absolutely nothing about you, they don't know nobody else that you know, and you can just share your truths, and you're really talking to yourself in that place. You're really just saying it all, and they're helping you say, oh yeah, because when you did, put your pieces together, you really just a place to share the truth.
It's guided reflection.
A guided reflection of your truth. So I feel like if you can create that space where you can share that story, your real story, that's where you can hear. You can do that by yourself. I've had places where I had to do it by myself. Where I had to confront, hey, this is you for real. And that can be just the truth. Luckily I'm able to speak to people freely about who I am. But if you don't have that, you just still got to know the truth. Because we'll bury some shit. We'll bury lots of things if we don't have the answers at the time. If you're asking yourself who you are and who you're going to be at 12 years old, yeah, you're not going to get a clear picture. But those things that voice of reason at 12 of somebody saying, oh, you're an ugly little girl, or you a fat this, or whatever they tell you, it becomes a voice of reason somewhere, because you don't have that voice yet. You don't have that perception of yourself. You don't know nothing. You're just trying to get through life. And then people start doing things and saying things, and that stuff stays. So now that you become an adult and trying to find love in yourself, and you remember they said I was ugly. Yeah. They said I was fat. They said I wasn't going to ever be, or they said I wasn't going to grow out of this, and you got to still do that shit.
Yeah. I think it's also taking, like what you said, like certain things you hear as a kid, it's also learning how to take those things that they may be true. Mm-hmm. How do you get past them? How do you work on that?
And you don't know that as a baby. So as you grow
as
up,
an adult,
and then you become an adult,
figure it out,
trying to find that self-love, and you still that little girl in there. Yeah. Right? So that's the trauma that builds and builds. And you can't tell your new partner that, hey, yeah, the little girl in me was hurt today. Yeah.
Her feelings was hurt.
The little girl in me remembers something I didn't correct, and I still don't know how to correct. And I'm trying to see myself as this grown professional person, and that shit still get to me. Yeah. So it's just real trauma that people don't know how to get through, because what's the answer to that? You can't go back in time. You can't do nothing, but you can be, I would think, the adult that you wish was around you. And that's what I try to be. So when I see a little baby that's going through something in school, I'm going straight to it. I'm now want to be 10 too. Tell me your day, and we're going to figure out how we could have got through this, or what we could have thought, or what we could have said, because nobody was there when I was told this and that. And you're like, damn. Right. And then you grow up. Still got to fix that shit.
So relationally, I'm thinking now that, so when you go out on these dates and things like that, it's like, hey, what do you bring to the table? I'm bringing trauma to the table.
Perhaps so. Man, that would be that conversation. I'd be like, oh, we need to get out of here. Check, please. We gotta
No,
go.
but I'm telling you,
we gotta get in the car. I gotta get everything.
Here's my philosophy on it all. Would you rather for me to tell you this shit now, or you to see it a year from now?
I would really love for you to tell me it now,
so I can decide on if I want to do this or if I can ride with this.
Up.
You feel what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Like if I ask you, hey,
we may need wine for this.
Yes, because I need some time. Because I need some time to know about it. I need some time to process it, and then I need some time to say, you know what? Can I actually do this? Can I actually ride with this person, even though they have these traumas and they bring these traumas to the table? But then when a person say that they bringing trauma to the table, or they bringing these traumas to the table, then what that does is that makes me feel comfortable enough to want to say, hey,
this is what mine is.
This is what mine is.
You know what I mean?
So instead of us talking about, hey, I got a good job, I do this, I go to church, and all this other bullshit that don't really matter.
What is this relationship gonna do for you in this at this time? Are we finna grow together?
Right.
You need somebody to help you fix some shit? You know, I want to know what we're coming in as, because this is more than just me finding my mate. This is also going to be a partnership.
Right.
We also finna join a team together now.
Right.
Who is my teammate? I don't need to just know who the hell I'm finna walk around with or who I'm sleeping with. I need to know who's my partner. What's your mentality like? What's your health journey? You know, what's all of that. I need to know where you at, so that we can see if we can coexist. And even if it's not, it's an intellectual conversation we'll never forget.
Yeah. But it's also, even with the health shit, you brought up my field. Then I think about it as like, you know, you might look good on the outside, but internally, shit, you
Absolutely.
fuck around and you got cancer.
Straight like that.
You want me to ride with you? We done went out on these dates. I'm feeling you, you feeling me, and then all of a sudden you tell me, oh yeah, I've been battling with cancer for 6 months. That's a trauma.
The conversation I have daily is
Why
about food.
Why you ain't tell me that? Why you ain't tell me that from the jump? So now you got me walking on this journey with you. I'm feeling you now, so I can't just jump off the goddamn bus. Mm-hmm. But now you done forced me to walk on this journey with you that I could have prepared myself for if you would have just told me that shit up front. You feel what I'm saying? Or, you know, hey, I got some baby daddy issues. You know, I got 2 kids, and then he kind of crazy, blah, blah, blah. Well, you prepared me for that. Now you got me feeling you 6 months down the line. So now I'm seeing this dude, and now we just like, now we beefing. But the reality of it is that if I was pre-warned about dude, I could have either prepared myself, or I could have said, you know what, it was nice meeting you, baby. I'm gonna go on the slide. Yeah. Or dude locked up, and now he done got out. You've been knowing the whole time we've been dating when he was gonna get out. You never told me he getting out. Oh, yeah, and by the way, he think we still together. You don't say. So now I gotta fend for myself. Really, you looking at me looking stupid. Yeah. That's the type. But it's all trauma. Like, you know things and you choose.
Manipulation, because
absolutely.
I didn't know we were gonna get this far.
Absolutely, it's manipulation. We're gonna go to that.
Like this.
Yeah. Oh, that's all type of manipulation.
So now you done set me up because you thought you were finna get away with something. Yeah. You thought you were finna get away with playing us both. Now look at us.
I have a question for you guys. Do you feel like your partner has the right to tell you about trauma responses they notice in you? Do you feel like that should be a conversation?
Absolutely.
What she said?
Do you feel
I understand. I couldn't grasp it.
Do you feel like your partner should share when you're creating a trauma response to their trauma? So
not to their trauma.
Oh.
Like, say you with somebody or whatever, and you notice that they carry themselves in this way, not carry themselves, but they do a certain thing. Mm-hmm. And you start realizing like, oh, okay, that's a trauma response. At that point, do you bring that up to your partner and talk to them about it, or you leave it alone?
I feel like it's
being that you understand what it is.
I feel like it's worth the conversation if there's any uncertainty anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, if you see somebody behaving a way and you don't know if you're called or someone calls around it, I need to know you're okay. I don't give a damn about what secrets you want to keep. What's going on. So even if it is a trauma response, or you're protecting yourself, and I need to know what the hell
going on.
We finna protect ourselves from. You know, and that's just how I am. I'm inclusive like that. Like what we doing.
I'm gonna automatically know that something ain't right if you respond to me a certain type of way, and I'm thinking in my mind it was just a basic question. Mm-hmm. Like, if I don't know. So if I asked you a certain question, and maybe you just got off the phone with mom and she told you some disturbing news and it triggered a trauma maybe in your past. So then when I come and ask you a question, you just lash out at me.
Mm-hmm.
The reality of it, I'm gonna know something is up immediately. So I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to pause, and then I'm gonna have to say, you know what? Hey, we need to have a conversation on why you responded the way you responded.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm good. No, you're not good, because I'm just now getting off work, and I just came and asked you, hey, what you want to eat? And you just spazzed out on me. So no, you ain't good. So something is up. And when people tell you that I'm good or ain't nothing wrong or everything is fine, I'm the person, I'm like, I press the issue at that point because I've already recognized that you're not fine. So now I'm like, man, you sure? You sure? What you really want to talk about? Like, I'm at that point now because I don't want to drag it out, because if I drag it out and let shit go, then what if this happens another time later on down the road? Or, that's why it's so important that if you give them an opportunity when they get in the house to just be to themselves so they can process their day. I think that's very important to have at least 20 to 30 minutes where that spouse doesn't come running up to you immediately as soon as you get in the house talking about A, B, C, D, E. Because I'm still trying to process my day. If you notice, some people, when they do get home from work, they'll pull up into their driveway or pull up into that and they just sit in the car. Because they still need to process their day. If you're wondering why they sitting in the car, they still trying to process their day because they know they also got to take this hat off and put this house hat on. And they got to go do that, whether it's dealing with kids, whether it's dealing with a husband or a wife, or whatever, dealing with some dogs, whatever the case may be. You got to deal with something when you walk through this door. So it's important for you to have those moments. And people need moments. People just go from one thing to the next. They go from work to home, to kids, to work, to home, to kids, and then they lashing out. Within a couple of days, they lashing out on everybody because you needed time. You needed some grace, and people didn't allow that, and you didn't allow yourself that. Yeah. So I think sometimes traumas are built from your own self. There you go. Trying to be strong to the point to where you break your own self down, and you didn't give yourself any grace. I think we're all allowed grace also, and I don't think we do that enough for our mates, our partners, our family members. We don't allow grace. Grace is when I know something is bothering you, or I know something is going on, but I'm going to give you a little time to process. I'm going to give you a little time to yourself. I'm going to give you a little time. I'm just not going to bombard you with shit. Allow people grace.
Be human.
Yes, because you never know what somebody is going through mentally. The mental part is the stuff that nowadays that we're just starting to get with the Black community. Therapy, mental health, all this shit is the shit that we just now all of a sudden started to get self-aware of, but this shit been going on. So now that we're starting to get self-aware of it, grace should be in there too. Because in order for you to deal with somebody that has trauma or have mental health issues, you got to allow grace in those situations to allow that person to at least try to fix it on their own or to adapt. And I don't think we really do enough of that. I don't even think we know what grace is no more.
I think we're just so used to making shit happen or faking it that the idea that things take time is a little hard. Like, we feel like once we identify something, it's over with.
We don't want time anyway. We don't believe in time no more. It's microwave, everything.
Yeah, and certain things take time. Like, I can talk about something for a while, and then it takes months for someone to be like, oh, that's what you've been saying this whole time. And it's like, yeah, because you wasn't ready to comprehend it. Some people gotta live through shit and find it by experience, maybe.
I never understood that though. I've never been a man I live by experiences on some things, but not many. Like, for an example, everybody that's in my circle, they know I've never smoked, I've never drank a day in my life. Everybody knows that. That's not saying that I was never around it. I was around it all my fucking life. In the house, outside of the house, when I walked in the car, when I got in the car, when I got off the bus, when I got off to go to wherever. I was always around it. I just chose a different route because I seen what it did to the people that was around me. The thing is that a lot of people don't know. They just, I don't know. It's a experience. It used to be a saying, experience is the best teacher. As the older I get, the more I realize that's not true. The reason why I say that is because choices is a part of experience.
Okay.
And if choices is a part of experience, then I had the opportunity to make a different choice. I chose not to make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about smoking and drinking, I chose not to smoke and drink.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that it wasn't around me and it wasn't offered, because it was all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I chose a different route. Experience is exactly what it is. If I tell you that stove is hot and don't touch it, why the fuck are you touching it? Do you need to experience heat for your own self? That's ignorance in my book. Mm-hmm. Now, outside of when you're a kid or something like that, I get it, peer pressure and things of those things happen. Mm-hmm. But as you become an adult, if I tell you don't touch that stove, dude, it's hot, why the fuck you touch it? Yeah. That's stupidity. That's ignorance. Or you just don't trust what I'm saying? Oh, it might not be hot to me. Mm-hmm. Last time I checked, hot is hot. If I tell you walk outside one day, man, don't go out there with no jacket on. It's hot outside. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh shit, I'm going out there with a jacket anyway. It ain't hot to me. Mm-hmm. I had that experience with my daughter yesterday. Take that jacket off. It ain't hot to me, Daddy. Take it off. Mm-hmm. It's a jacket and it's 101 degrees outside. Take the jacket off. You're not coming in this restaurant with a jacket. Mm-hmm. So it's the temptation of when I tell you, don't do this, I want to experience what happens when I do just what I told you not to do. Right. It's I want to experience it too. So
I can do what I want to do.
Right. So I think traumas are self-built.
It could be.
Self-built.
Some of them could be.
Yeah.
But you can't choose what it creates. You can choose whatever decision you want, sure. But like your baby, if she would have like, it's okay, because I would have told you it might be cold in the restaurant because mm-hmm. you let me wear a jacket. But she wouldn't contest if y'all had to wait outside for that restaurant to be seated for 20 minutes with that jacket on.
She didn't think about none of that. But Dad is.
You know, and that's what I mean. You can make a decision, but you can't determine what that trauma will create. You can pass out now. You can have a heat stroke now. Right. You know, anything can happen at this point because you made a decision. And we can't see the future to know that stuff. We just see the decision we get to make right now. Right now. Yeah. We don't know that it's going to create trauma. I'm pretty sure nobody wants to create, willingly say, oh, this is the trauma that's going to get me to the next place.
Right.
We just got to figure out how to identify it when we see it.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure at some point I was extremely toxic. And I had to identify things about myself that I didn't want to be, and that was just it. Just confront Black. What is that? Mm-hmm. You don't like liars, so don't lie. Mm-hmm. You don't like these type of people, so don't be like this. And so forth, so on. Because all you got is a bunch of examples. Well, all I had was a bunch of examples around me of people I didn't want to be like. Mm-hmm. Not many people who I did want to be like. So I had to figure out a lot of things. So a lot of time, I had to make a lot of bad decisions to see what I wanted to be and who I wanted to be.
So you don't think you could have said, okay, well, I know I don't want to be like my brothers, so I'm gonna do the opposite of what they did, because that's kind of the stuff. That's what I did.
I did for as long as I, was noticing things.
Right.
As long as I was noticing things, I would make an alternative decision. Like I seen people smoking all my life as well. Mm-hmm. I didn't start smoking until I was out of the military.
Gotcha.
Ever. Like I had never had a desire to even smoke mm-hmm. Until I felt the need it. Gotcha. Until I felt like I needed it. Or at least I wanted to try it, and then it became something else. But
right.
I didn't have those urges while I was watching the effect. Mm-hmm. This was later on by myself, no right. influence around.
No pressure, no nothing.
It was just, that's what I'm going to do today. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't say it was a trauma response, from where I didn't want to grow up being, but I can't say it wasn't there already.
I got you.
You get what I'm saying? Like the influence.
Yeah.
It was definitely there.
I felt like the smoking hindered them from becoming who they said they wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And then at the point that I started smoking, I had became what I thought I wanted to be. Okay. If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
I felt like, dang, if you weren't doing that, you would be going to school. If you weren't doing that, you would have that job you want. If you weren't doing that, you will figure out how to pay the bills. I blamed everything on what I seen them doing. You get what I'm saying? And then once I'm now feel like I'm living the life I wanted to live, I'm like, I can chill. This can't make me different because I'm already where I want to be, right? So I didn't feel like it would have the same effect on me, but it became an addiction. It became something else. Something you feel like you need now. But the influence was there. I wouldn't say the trauma from it was there. Maybe it became a trauma response that I feel like I made it somewhere.
Yeah,
I done did.
It's
something.
like I beat those stigmas, so now I can.
I'm no longer a product of my environment, so I can protect.
Yeah.
No, it's still immature, stupid. A dumb decision that I now have to figure out what I want to do with this now.
Mine was always fear. I seen nothing positive come out of it. I only seen negative. So I immediately go to, if I ever did that, I wouldn't be who I am. I feel like it would change me because I just feel like in my family and friends, it had that strong of a stigma over their life. So I'm like, there's nothing positive to come out of this. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not saying that it's one of those things to where I just feel like everybody that does it is terrible. Mm-hmm. It's not what I think, because I have some pretty good, successful people around me that does it. But at the same time, I'm only speaking for me.
From your experience.
From me, my experience, my environment. I wouldn't dare.
I get that.
I wouldn't dare put myself in that position. And then to change at 39, now I got children watching me. I have these things. So then I would put them in that same environment. And I was trying to change cycles. I think I spent my whole early part of my adulthood making sure that I wasn't like nothing that my family was. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to do the total opposite of anything that they did. I'm talking about from tattoos to everything. I was like, oh, they don't have no tattoos? I bet I'm finna get tatted up. No, like that was my mindset. It's like, oh, they don't smoke? I'm never smoking. Oh, they don't drink? I ain't never drink. I ain't never taking nothing. Like, they ain't no entrepreneurs. They only work. Bet I'm finna be an entrepreneur. That was my mindset.
Whatever your route was,
I'm going to complete out because I don't want to be like none of you. Mm-hmm. None of you. My mom, my grandma. I don't want to be like nobody. Mm-hmm. Change the dynamic. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things to where now the newer generation doesn't do that. They don't change the dynamic. They only want to be a better version of the dynamic. Mm-hmm. Oh, they smoking weed? Yeah, I'm finna smoke some crack. I'm gonna smoke some wet. I'm gonna smoke some. Oh, they drinking? I'm finna drink lean. I'm finna drink. You just elevated it.
You took it up a notch.
You taking it up a notch. You're not even trying to not do it. It's just like, oh, I want to do more of it. Yeah. So it's the mindset of.
You got their favorite people telling them to go do it.
Your favorite people.
What? Future said he wasn't popping until he started doing it. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I wasn't geeking until I started doing the little stuff. Like, you telling these people, you can't even, whatever they start labeling geeking is or being cool is, you can't do that until you get you get what I'm saying? So
it's like basically you can't become what I am until you do this. So it's like
and that's like, not our world at all.
Yeah, you like the rapper starter pack. You gotta smoke, you gotta drink, you gotta stay up late. That's the rapper starter pack. If you want to be a rapper,
get a pistol.
You gotta have a pistol. You know what I'm saying? So like
you're selling the experience, and they're gonna go out and do it. I can bet Future don't do what he say he doing.
I'm sure he probably did. He probably don't know more. Just like Rick Ross. Rick Ross did. He doesn't do it anymore. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So once you get older, you get wiser. And when you get wiser, you make changes. But listen to all this music that you made.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You influence what?
I feel like that about T Grizzly. Like if you listen to some of his stuff after, like he started saying like, I ain't ripping no street. This shit got everybody I know killed.
So you got
in his music. But before,
So to go back to everything we're talking about, we don't have a dynamic like we were talking about. We don't have that black dynamic where we just have a family. We know what our family look like and supposed to. We don't know because it was all destroyed. Cool. It was taken from us. Great. Now our influence is all of these celebrities because we don't have that community. So we just looking at our stage and they tell us, oh, this is what it is. This is the new image. This is the new look. This is the new move. This is how we do it now.
But the only difference between them is money.
Absolutely.
That's the only difference between us and them is money.
Absolutely. And they just have the platform.
They got the same traumas. They got the same issues. They grew up in the same type of environment, if not worse, than we did.
But our babies will look at them for influence before they see us.
Money
Well, that's
bought them the ability to influence
A bigger platform.
Yeah.
You know,
It
you,
bought
have to,
them-
you have to come to
That's
my
it.
shop to experience me loving my people, right? For them, they got to go on Instagram.
right.
You know,
and
they
then
get
you
to
also
go,
you look at what is pushed and popularized, because there are successful Black families
Mhm.
that are not pushed.
right.
So we still don't get to see it, even though it's there.
Mhm.
They push what's negative because that's what sells.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what gets likes. That's what gets views. That's what gets attention.
And that's what they want the society perception to adapt. This is what you're supposed to look like. It's okay if the daddy not there because you can be like this. It's okay if y'all do co-parent because this is it.
Mhm.
You know, but you're not showing us what a healthy household would have been like, what him staying with his family would have been like, with her growing up with a, you know, we don't see that shit.
No, just I'll use a couple in example. Steph and Aisha. The only time we heard about Steph and Aisha was when Aisha made that comment about not getting enough attention. Ever since then, they still a happily married family. They had another kid and everything.
All that.
We do not get content on them pushed to us.
They went invisible again, right? Because they started living their life until she went on the show with them other 5 girls. Was the View? She got caught. She was a host. Somebody on The View.
Yeah.
She came on the show. They brought out a man with no shirt on. She was trying to take off her wedding ring. That went everywhere.
No, I didn't.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's
you can
crazy.
do that. Yeah, you can. We don't have it.
Yeah. Yep.
We don't have it.
Yep.
You know, because even if they do try to show that, what they're gonna show is, yeah, they can be a happy family behind doors, but look what she's doing. She with her friends.
She acting out with her friends.
So then we back at, oh, look at all the women just want to see.
Yeah.
See. No, that's her,
and
that's what she's doing to her family.
Yeah.
And we're just looking for a healthy dynamic. And what ours is because we don't see it, we just made it individual. This is how I run my house.
Right.
This is how I love. This is how I love. This is how I raise my kids. But collectively, this is what these conversations is about.
Yeah.
It's the collective.
Like what do we look like? Not what
What do
them.
we look
Not
like?
them out there. What do we look like?
And we don't have that. We don't have that in fiction. So we're looking at influence like, oh, well, see, that's a good image. But like you said, they're gonna put out the negative. Like even Dwayne and Gab, I think they have a wonderful family. They have a wonderful love. It's just theirs.
Yep.
Why we gotta see it every fucking week? You see what I'm saying? Or anyone else.
Right.
Shit.
Because even when they show up in the way that everybody says, like everybody talking about 50-50, they showed up 50-50 and people were still pissed.
Like
You can't go off of what you see. What works for us.
That's it. That's what we're trying to figure out is what is the dynamic. And then we're seeing all these examples. And then we got all these people that's growing up in the same time, trying to do the same things. They live in life. So you're trying to figure out, how do I live life?
Yeah.
And
But that's
this
what I'm
is the
saying.
influence.
It's on, if me and this cup in front of me is in a relationship, I don't know what y'all do. I don't know what y'all do. It's what works for us.
Mm-hmm.
We have to stop trying to find that midpoint of like, okay, well, such and such and such and such does this and they're happy, so we need to try it. Like, no.
Well, maybe that's the understanding of the fact that it's nothing. It's not going to be a collective way of doing
never
anything.
will be. Yeah.
You know?
Like Dion said a minute ago, he needs that time when he comes in the house to relax. The next man might be like, hey, run and jump in my arms when you see me. You have to find out what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
You try everything. And that's why I'm like, when it comes to trauma, it's a negative, but at the same time, if it's not weaponized, then it's a boundary.
Mm-hmm.
You tried it with this girl, okay. I don't really like that. You might try it one more time. I don't like that. So at this point, by girl number 3, hey, bro, I need about a hot 15 to 20 minutes when I come in. I'm saying, shit. You try it, you know?
Try it out. Don't work. Set your boundary.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just what we're going to end up going into. Like, why do we have to have a collective understanding of something? Aren't we all individual people?
We don't have to have an understanding, but you need to be able to respect what I need.
And that's the solution right there. I got to respect your individuality and you respect mine.
Right.
We might see things completely different. The same thing, completely different. And that should be okay. And even if we got to coexist together, we can be okay with us living 2 completely different type of lives, or we can not. You know, we can decide.
You gotta have
that
an understanding, because she can't be like, oh, I saw this and we need to do this. Like, no, bro, what we have is working.
So the importance is just knowing who you are and
knowing
confronting your real truth
and
to be able to share that.
Yep.
Okay.
At least that's how I look at it.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, because you can't take the same mindset into every single relationship.
Mm-hmm.
How I treat you as my friend, you as my friend might be completely different than how I treat her as my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are two different individuals.
Yeah.
I can't approach the relationship the same way.
Yeah. But you can be your own type.
But I can be myself no matter what.
I agree with that. You know, I agree with that.
I'm gonna be me no matter what.
And you should.
I think I'm gonna be me. You gotta adjust. I don't have to adjust. I have to adjust.
That's another way of saying it.
I have to adjust when you're being you. But what I'm saying is that my individual personality, I don't have to adjust that.
You have to alter it
I
to
don't
be
have to
around
alter
me.
it to be around.
Yeah.
I should. Everybody should know the real person in some form. If you're my friend, if you're my girlfriend, you should know the real person, the funny person, the outgoing person, the slick mouth person in some form.
Yeah.
So if I'm with you, like, and we kicking and having a good time, she shouldn't be like, oh, I ain't never seen that side.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I like that. Yeah.
People are like that though.
Okay.
People are like that when they get around their homeboys. If a guy get around his homeboys, he is the way he is with his homeboys, and then if his girl see it, she don't even know who that person is, and that's not the way it's supposed to be.
So we gotta work on being honest about ourselves.
Being honest and transparent. I don't believe in I'm gonna show you this, I'm gonna show you this, I'm gonna show you this, I'm gonna show you this. I used to think that way.
Yeah.
Now I think I'm gonna show everybody the same thing, so can't nobody be shocked about shit. Nothing.
Yeah. I think that comes with growth though.
Yeah, that comes with growth. That comes with time. That comes with maturity.
Yeah.
And being comfortable in your own skin, knowing that.
If you get to a place where you don't feel like you gotta hide yourself from the world, that's a more comfortable place to try to share that person with the world. If you gotta feel like you gotta hide something from people, I feel like you should be more isolated. You should isolate yourself till you figure out who that is.
People don't have a heaven or hell to put me in. So at the end of the day, I don't give a shit about what they feel about me and what their opinion is on me.
Right.
Like that doesn't really bother me. But if you want to be in this circle, this is what I am. This is who I am. This is how I am. This is how I act. In these four walls, I'm this person. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that I'm different outside of these four walls. You just might get more of that person in these four walls.
Right.
You know, so it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment. People have to learn how to adjust to whoever they're with and not think that everybody that they're with, they can be the same way with.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people really think they can get out of this relationship and go into this relationship and be the same way. How is that theoretically possible? You cannot be the same person you was here in this relationship too. Impossible. You gotta make adjustments.
I agree.
You gotta make adjustments. So we're gonna hit this commercial. We'll be back in a second.
back. So, question: why do you think manipulation works so well? Like over honesty. Why do you think people will rather manipulate someone into uh, whatever they want versus being honest about whatever they want? Why does it work so well?
I think manipulation works so well because one person, this is where I wanted to go today. So you got two people in a relationship, right?
Okay.
And when you start a relationship, whether it's a friendship or actual relationship, marriage, whatever, when you start that, you have two people, two powers, right? They're trying to become one. But in the process of trying to become one, they're still trying to keep their independency too. That's the issue.
The independence.
The independency. Okay. So it's like they want to be together, but they still want to be single, in a sense.
Okay.
All right. The issue is that in the process of dating this individual, one of these people know they've picked up on the fact that, hey, this person might be a little weak in this area. This person might be a little strong in this area. I could probably get my way in this area. Mm-hmm. Whether you want to admit that people are thinking like that, they really are. Mm-hmm. All right. You know a person's tendencies. You know if they're soft. You know if they're givers. You know if they're takers. You know all of this shit. All right. So now that I've gotten to know you and I've gotten to know all of these different traits and things about you, now I know how to bring in manipulation into the situation to get whatever it is that I want out of the situation. You feel what I'm saying? This manipulation doesn't start at the beginning. It starts in the process. It's impossible for me to manipulate you if I just met you.
You don't know how.
Because I don't know. So that takes time. That takes building. You feel what I'm saying? So now you know how this person moves. You know their traits. You know how their soft spots, their hard spots. Now it's like, how can I still do this and still get what I want out of the situation?
Okay.
That's manipulation. Manipulation definition basically is to change. It's to change something.
But why you want to do that?
Because it benefits me. I'm only doing it for beneficial reasons.
Because you want to change me in the ways that you know.
I don't want to change you. I want to change this narrative. I want to change this situation, whatever that might be. Okay, example. I know damn well you don't eat pretty much not a lot of different meats, right? But because I know you're my sis and you ride with me like that, then I'm gonna say, all right, sis, I want to go eat steak today. And you're gonna like, all right, baby, I'll find something on the menu. Mm-hmm. That's a manipulative situation because the reality of it is that I could have found some type of boundary, but this is what I really wanted to do on this date. And I knew you would be down for it because that's, there you go. Mm-hmm. It sucks. All right. Now, all manipulation ain't necessarily terrible because I do believe some people know they're being manipulated and they just let it slide. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I do see how, if you want to take it a little bit major, you know what I'm saying? You could do that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? To major situations, manipulation can be absolutely a thing. If you don't think that you manipulate or you haven't gotten manipulated before, you're a fool. Yeah. We all have. In my mind, it's a different terminology. You've been played. Mm-hmm. We all have been played. By somebody or something. Mm-hmm. The reality of it is that in its totality, sometimes you know in the back of your mind, man, this nigga just really wanted to go do this. He just really wanted to go eat steak. And all he had to do was just tell me that. And I would have still went and ate steak with him. You see what I'm saying? You know that in the back of your head. So you knew in the process he manipulated the situation when he really didn't even have to. Mm-hmm. You would have went no matter what. Same concept. A lot of times people know that they're being manipulated and they just choose not to say nothing. And they letting it slide. Me, on the other hand, if I feel like I'm being manipulated in a situation, I'm going to call it out. Even if it ain't that big of a deal. I just want you to know that I noticed this shit, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to let you know. So, don't think you're going to keep getting away with this shit because it's going to be a quick no for me. Mm-hmm. And that's just keeping people on their toes. I believe relationally that you're supposed to keep a person on their toes. Don't ever get too comfortable. Don't ever get too complacent. Mm-hmm. Because the minute you do, shit start falling off and you're going to wake up one day and be wondering why shit falling off. And it's going to be because you've allowed too much shit to transpire. I don't care if I'm married. keep you on your toes. Because I don't want you to get complacent and get comfortable. Nobody should. I shouldn't, nor that person that I'm with, they shouldn't. Find ways to keep each other on their toes so you can keep shit going. But manipulation is a real thing out here, man. It's a serious issue. And let me spice this up a little bit. I think women manipulate men a whole lot more than they think.
Why do you think that?
It's first of all, it's easier, in my opinion, for a woman to maybe manipulate a man than a man manipulate a woman. I think it is. Because a woman can identify what a man wants from her immediately. It's kind of given. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't too many other options. You understand what I'm saying?
He don't want a whole lot.
Yeah. So she knows, in a sense, well, shit, if that's all he wants is this, then he going to have to work for this. So let me
determine how he gonna work.
There you go. And women are fucking great at it. They great at it. And I think a lot of guys know they're being manipulated and they still do it anyway. You want to know why? For two reasons. For one, because they probably some simps. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But two, because they ultimately still want whatever it is that they want. So they're willing to give it all up just to get it. Because they some idiots too. But that's a whole nother topic too. But that's why. That's why. At the end of the day, you want what you want.
In that same instant that the women are manipulating the men came with the fucking manipulation. Like, you only here for some pussy. You solely walked up here.
You know what's crazy is
you
that
may want love later.
True.
May want to get to know me later. But the whole approach was for pussy.
Yes.
So you
but I don't think he's manipulating the situation. He might not have told you what he wanted, but he ain't trying to. Well, you know what? Damn, I answered my own question. Damn, I almost set myself up.
I'm gonna say
he might not have said it, but
then when you had one and then two. Two, three.
Because now he's trying to take you out to the fourth star. Yeah, that nigga there manipulating. Like,
damn. So two grown ass adults manipulating each other. He wants a pussy, and she like, well, shit, I'm gonna get what I can out of this nigga. So
he came with the game, so I gotta play.
But you know what? A lot of those guys come into it because they already know she gonna want this, that, and the third anyway. So I might as well bring out a fucking red carpet.
What if she was fine without it?
That's something that we'll never know.
What if she was okay?
That's something that we'll never know.
She okay. She got her car note. She done figured that rotation out. She got, you know.
Look. But it's amazing. It's amazing how a woman will say at the beginning, I don't need no man for nothing. But then when he start offering that shit, you damn sure ain't stopping.
I mean, if you offer, that's not a need though. You offer. I ain't coming to you and say I ain't paid that rent in 3 months. No, shit paid. It's all fucking paid. The fridge is fixed. I can even cook for us.
You ready to run this video?
Look at you.
I'm listening.
You the one said let's spice this up.
I'm listening.
I was calm.
You spiced it up.
I'm listening.
Our house was a home already. And then boom.
I understand that.
Ray.
Ray came in.
Talking about what he can do. Or what he used to have.
And that's the part of it where the trauma and shit comes back into the play. Because men, you gotta stop talking about what you can do and what you're willing to do for this woman. Let her find that shit out later. Because what you doing is you bringing in the dog and pony show. So guess what? She ain't got to tell you shit now. Most of the time on dates, niggas is doing the most talking. Because they trying to talk themselves into some pussy. Mm-hmm. Not knowing that she's keeping all this shit up here. She keeping it. She holding it. So she can regurgitate that shit right back to your ass.
Yeah, because you ain't have to share it. You ain't have to fall and tell all those lies.
Yes, exactly.
You could have just came out here and say, look, shorty, my last girl just kicked me out.
I got nowhere to stay.
I ain't got nowhere to stay.
Oh, shit.
What I do have is half your rent. If it's right. You know.
We could be roommates for a little while.
If it's under $2,000, I got half of that bitch. You know. And that's what he really should have came to the table with. The truth. What do you want, sir? What do you want? Cool.
Niggas, anytime a woman or a dude say, I just want to kick it, they really just saying, I want some sex.
Maybe you do. Maybe you want to kick it in the bed. You know what I mean? But say that. Maybe she do want a man and she can say, okay, but I do want a boyfriend. So you want something, I want something. We don't have to manipulate each other to have it. You need a place to stay. How long you need that place to stay? 3 months. I can do a man for 3 months.
She might.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
but in the back of her
how
mind,
would that real conversation be?
So if that real conversation happened and then she'd be like, all right, bet you need to play stay for 6 months. All right, everything cool. You can move in next week. Bet he move in next week. Next thing you know, shit, everything. That's all you hear every day. But that's not what we talked about.
You said we had 3 months from me. We got 3 months. Huh? And if you come in here with all this rabbit and pony show and I ain't with that, the 3 months got cut short. Say that's sorry. Unfortunately, but it all should be honest. We don't have to lie when it's still gonna end in 3 months, because that's all you fucking needed to the girl forgive you. That's all you fucking needed before all that shit hit you and you realize I gotta go back home because that's where I'm gonna go. Mm-hmm. That's what is gonna happen anyway. So why we can't just have this conversation? We could have just been friends for these 3 months. We don't even have to break up. We could have break up. I know what you need. You don't even have to stay in my bed. You can sleep on the couch. All you need is what you need. I would take that experiment as a real fucking experience. I share it and everything. Okay, I met this person. We said we were gonna date for this amount of time, and let's see how it goes. Because you obviously don't know how to fucking date if we gotta lie. If we gotta come in here and be like, oh yeah, no, man.
Nobody does.
This person don't mean nothing no more. This don't mean
nobody
shit.
does.
I'm free agent, this and that, but you got a whole fucking roster. Like, why? Nobody's volunteering you. Nobody got a pistol to your head to tell me this.
Everybody's lying on a date.
It could just be what it is, though.
Everybody's lying on a date.
You think you're a cool person?
Yeah.
Just tell me that shit. Don't tell me the fucking rehearsed lies you done came up with on the way here.
I want you to tell me them traumas. That's what I want you to tell me.
Tell me your real trauma so I know what we at.
What I'm dealing with. Because I don't want your ass having Tourette's and you don't tell me.
What is the lie for? What's the lie for, man?
Fuck wrong with you.
What the hell?
Like, straight up. Like, I want to know them traumas. I want to know that dark stuff. But then peep this. When we going back to this, because I'm stuck on this. It's like, I got to get to know you to tell you that stuff. The fuck?
And I get that too.
No.
People use shit against you.
I'm saying,
you know what I mean? Because you tell me too much shit, and then I'm going to determine if you even cute enough for me to go through the trauma you just told me about. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? I'm hurt. I'm a real person, you know? And there's everything in that motherfucker. A little psychotic, a little selfish, you know, self-centered, all that shit's in there. So you telling me you got abandonment issues, you've been homeless before, you got commitment issues, you drop out of every fucking thing you start, you know, all that shit. I'm like, bitch, you're not even cute enough for me.
Right. Don't let it be some weird shit like I gotta take a bubble bath for 3 Urban Duckies every night. Like, what? You gonna get up and leave out the table?
You done had this and the third and all that. You got a baby daddy, maybe just one, but you still got him. Bitch, you ain't. Hold up.
Start with your small stuff on the first date.
You know?
Give me the real.
I'm not saying.
Immediately, I'm gonna say, oh, we're gonna be friends forever.
I'm not saying that you need to come out with your major traumas like you've been molested or some shit like that. But I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about. But goddamn, I need to know something about you that you don't normally tell everybody. Make me feel comfortable enough to where I'm comfortable enough to tell you something that maybe I don't tell everybody too. We get one.
But if you dating and you dating multiple people and you tell them all the same thing, you still telling everybody.
No, it's not necessarily. Well, first of all, I wouldn't be doing all that anyway. I wouldn't. I tell every one of them I look something different. But anyway,
oh my God.
But the reality of it is that. That's the thing. Like, I need to know something about you that you ain't telling everybody. It might be a positive, but I need to know something about you that you ain't telling the streets. Meaning the streets don't know. Something about you on that other side of you that everybody ain't talking about. Yeah. If you ain't willing to open up a little bit on a date, then what the fuck you think I'm gonna open up for? What makes you think I'm gonna do anything? We just on this day eating good food.
Don't say how much, but how much is too much.
If you can't identify that thing to share, I think it would be like, if you can identify one thing about all the things about you, what would you share? You know, what would be that? Would it be a red flag? Like, man, I got a badass attitude.
Yeah.
Nothing is hidden from me. Though. I'm an open book anyway. So I don't give a
Are you willing to share that thing that you can sum up about yourself? Like, what is? If you can one thing, what is Dion? You know,
damn food.
And if that's what come out, then it's like, oh, well, what makes you? You know, now I'm intrigued. Now I'm interested. What makes you a fool? And you can pick and choose what you share about that. But you done gave me the heads up that this may be a rocky road.
Yeah. I told you.
I think that'd be helpful as well. You know, if you know, you know, You know, because people meet me and think I'm just so sweet. And I'd be like, no, you should look deeper.
I'm rough around the edges.
You should get in there, huh?
Yeah.
I can surprise you.
Don't let this here fool you.
They sized you up.
Yeah.
See, they automatically think I'm crazy as fuck when they see me.
They do.
They're like, oh yeah, that nigga he look crazy.
It's all over you.
It's all over. But at least I'm right. At least they're right. I am. But I started out very nice.
So you manipulate your way.
No, I think
Like I start off really nice.
I think I start off nice, right?
Playing all motherfucking day with a wave of you.
Hell no. I think I'm pretty chill. Like I don't start out aggressive unless you come in here. Now I'm aggressive in here.
Okay, so we gotta start out at your house.
Start out on the street. Like when I'm out in public and shit, like I'm speaking to everybody, hey, how you doing? I'm doing all of that. I'm you go I'm holding doors for men, holding doors for women. I'm just being chivalry ain't dead. Niggas just scared.
You walk into my shop every Friday.
That's second home though.
I'm gonna say aggressive.
And I've never heard him walk in and say,
hey everybody.
You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking
hard, like no.
I'm speaking to everybody. Showing love.
He whispering shit.
I'm showing love to everybody. When I'm out in public, come on, y'all don't leave me hanging. I speak. I talk to people. I do. And no offense, but the white men, they just always want to come talk to me.
Yeah, people talk to you.
You
don't have to speak to people because people like, man,
white people love coming to talk to me. Like they just come and just have a whole conversation.
Yeah, they think your shirt came alive.
Like I don't know.
But like
no,
I don't think it's not you though.
I'm a nice guy.
Okay. What would you like me to?
I'm a nice guy.
Okay, babe.
You said, fuck it.
You're great.
Then roll the video.
Wow. Jeez.
Roll the video. Just talk about it. I'm manipulating too right now is what y'all trying to tell me. No.
You landed on tape.
I'm a really nice guy.
Yeah, y'all really want the video? I stopped it because
you come play the video.
Okay.
Play the video. Shit.
We always talk about the potential manipulation of the people who don't present their intentions up front, and it's just as manipulative to ride with a situation that you know you're not built to ride with. Because I'm a dude that keep it G up front. And I done had quite a few women tell me they was with the way that I move until I start moving and they realize they can't change the routine.
Because they was until they fell in love with you.
Church. So, no, but my point, before you start making excuses for them, if we're going to talk about how the guys that don't put their intention out are manipulative, so are those women who think that they can outweigh or play the long game with me like, no, baby, this is how I dance. And you said you knew this song, so let's get to it.
Is it manipulative? Yes, you're right. And I can see the manipulative traits in that. But a lot of the times women think we can change people. So
manipulation. That's literally manipulation. To manipulate a thing is to change it. But yeah, you're a manipulator.
I'm going. Yeah. You say you want a nigga that's self-aware.
Real is up too.
So you sitting on stage with one. You say you want to get a communicate.
You got to know what it is.
Yeah, because I'm self-aware like a motherfucker. So you're gonna have to come meet that bullshit.
And I think that's why the conversation should be had up front so that she know you're an intellectual dude. You ain't coming with that little minded shit now.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna put you in the box.
You can't come to me with that little bullshit. That look, because you got a little piece of pussy. That ain't gonna work.
Not no little piece of pussy.
That ain't gonna work. Mm-hmm. Ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work.
Big pocket pussy.
No, that shit ain't gonna work. Yeah. That shit ain't gonna work. Cause same thing you do to me, I can do to myself. Straight up. Mm-hmm. But this the reality of it is like it has to be a connection there. Like
something real.
I think what's happening is now, and this is the biggest manipulation in the streets right now. Two people are coming together, bringing their physical attributes only. That's the biggest manipulation out there in the streets.
Yeah.
I'm coming to you because you fine. You coming to me because I'm fine. Mm-hmm. And then they start to check each other's pockets after that. Mm-hmm. Then after that, it's more so of a status and behavior.
And then mentality.
Right.
Should be first though for me.
All that shit is first. Mm-hmm. This physical attribute, I understand that it takes physical to be attractive.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay. But we're bringing physicality to manipulate. Mm-hmm. A woman is doing all the shit that she do with her body and getting fit, getting fine to manipulate what she wants out of a man. A man is doing the exact same thing to get a woman's attention so he can manipulate and get what he want out of the situation. Two people are being very what's the word? Self-centered.
So how do you
To
get what you want without that? Like, for me to attract what I want, right? I gotta have an idea of what it takes to get that, right? So
Understood.
if I want this type of person, I need to look like this because this is what I think this type of person is attracted to, and I gotta have this type of thing. So am I manipulating myself for the desire of somebody else?
I feel like you shouldn't be looking at it that way. I feel like you should be like, I want to look like this because this is what I want to look like.
Yeah.
Not for the benefit
Well, sure.
of the type of
Okay,
person
maybe
that
you
I
do.
want.
Maybe you do want to look like that. You want to
Yeah.
be fit and fine. This
Yeah.
image of fit and fine personally, but you're also doing it to attract somebody else. You
Absolutely,
know?
you are.
Like I don't think anyone has just said, I just want to be fit and fine and stare at myself. You're gonna stare at yourself regardless, whether it's fit, fine, fat, or flabby. You're gonna look at that body every day. So I get you will want to do it for yourself. I desire to look like this, but I desire to look like this when she's looking at it. Huh?
I get that. I guess I'd be thinking about the people who like literally be a fit person and a person who's not so fit together in a relationship. It's like, what happened then? How do we explain that if our basis is based off of I'm looking this way to attract that person?
Because that person, that's because I'm fit doesn't mean I'm attracted to fit.
Right, I'm gonna say
Because I'm the exact same. I'm that way.
But then
Just
you
because
wouldn't
I'm
be
fit
like,
doesn't mean I'm
okay,
attracted to fit.
I'm fat because I want to attract the people who like fat people. Like you just be like, no, I'm just fat. Like if they like me, they like me.
Well, it's just like the stigma.
You get what,
Yeah, I
you get what
get
I'm saying?
that.
Like no, I just didn't want to put that stigma on fit people. Like fit
I'm
people
gonna say,
look
is that a
fit for
fit person?
No, it's just like the stigma that's always put on me. Everybody always say, "Oh, I thought you'd be somebody that's super fit." And it's a stigma because that's what they think. Because I am, that's what you're supposed to attract.
And that's what I want to avoid. I want to keep putting that stigma on fit people.
I don't give
like
a
they
fuck
look
about no
fit,
fit.
so
I
they
care
can
about
look
personality.
Perhaps, okay. You're a fit person. I'm a sexy person. I don't give a damn about being like if I was attracted to somebody just being physically healthy and fit, he would be. You gotta have a fucking whole plan for yourself. You can't just be out. You ain't gonna be no drinker, no smoker. You ain't gonna eat crazy.
You can't just look.
You're gonna have a workout diet.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a system with him. You wouldn't necessarily have to have a system for me, but you have to be comfortable with your body. You have to be comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. If you find yourself fine, I find you fine. I don't give a goddamn.
Fine being shit.
I don't give a goddamn. But for him, it will be different. He's attracted to fitness, and I will be attracted to something else.
That's a different terminology. So I'm not attracted to fit women. I'm attracted to fitness, meaning that you got to work out, babe.
Yeah.
I can't be in this whole 5-6 days a week and your ass at the house watching Jerry Springer. Shout out to RP, all that good shit. But no, you can't do that. Like I come home, your ass still in your goddamn night clothes.
I understand.
Like you got a whole bonnet on. Like there's no activity in your body. Like you just deteriorating, huh?
But
like nah, we're not doing that.
For me, you won't have to do exactly what I have to do. You have to have
like
your
we're not
own
doing that.
Healthy journey. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want to fucking do. You can have a calorie count. You can do yoga. You can do whatever your health life is.
Right.
As long as you like it and you're happy with it. But you can't be one of those people that stress out all the time. Like, oh, I wish I did this, or I wish I did, and I did all that complaining and shit, and you ain't doing nothing for it.
Let me tell you something. If you're dating somebody like myself or my fit brothers and sisters out there, two things are going to happen. You're going to either start feeling depressed about yourself because you're not doing what you're doing.
You feel like you're doing enough?
Yeah. Or it's going to create tension in the relationship because this is what I do and it ain't what you do. Or you're going to start doing it, but that's not really who you are. So what comes to the dark going to come to the light. So the reality of it is it's going to do what? Create more tension. So the moral of the story is because most fitness people are very alpha oriented. So you're going to have to get on the bus and get the fuck off anyway. You more so laid back. It's not about, I'm not asking you to come out here and have no six pack and none of that shit. I don't nobody care about that. I'm asking you to have some type of healthy living habits.
Yep. Yes.
You can't just be eating soul food every day and doing like, it's just, I don't operate that way. But that's my preference.
Yeah.
So is it safe to say then, going back to what y'all were talking about, that y'all would exclude physicality as a form of manipulation?
It's not an exclude. It's what it is.
So
Physicality is still a form of manipulation.
So y'all would still use that as
We don't have a choice to. I'm sorry, Pam.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, there's an entire movement about sexual marketplace value. Women do things and look a certain way to attract a man that has certain attributes and certain qualities. So she's going to be in the gym. She's going to be small. She's going to be your term fit because she knows that is the most attractive to a man that has more money, that has cars, homes, and all of the things that she wants. So
even when he ain't.
Yeah.
Even when he ain't fit, he want a bed that's fit.
Yeah.
Like that's the weirdest thing to me. Like, how is it that your ass coming around here with a pot belly, but you want a woman that's fit? Because men consider women as trophies. So it ain't with him. He know, I might not be fit, but my pocket's fit.
He got a different status.
He has a different status. He wants a woman to look basically like he wants to look, in a sense, in his mind. He wants to be fit. He just chooses not to go do it.
Yeah.
So then he uses her, gets her, and then all of a sudden now he wants to hit the gym. Now, what happens to a guy that got deep pockets and then he start hitting the gym too? Guess what? She gonna be an afterthought in a little while.
Oh, okay. When he get his new confidence.
There you go.
Because he becomes attracted to a different level of person.
Different status now.
At that time.
Yeah.
The pot belly guy with a little bit of money, he don't get the fittest woman. He don't get the youngest or the finest model. He gets the low grade, the low model part. But then you upgrade to premium when you look a certain way and you have deep pockets.
Oh, that's a different mentality. What is that?
It's so many of them.
We out the pool now. We on the elevator. Shit.
What's the
getting
name
off on different floors?
What's the name for that mentality?
And that's why they do. And that's why they do pool parties. And that's why they do all that shit. Because now I get to see the outer exterior of the woman. So now I get to see all of you. So now why is most dudes up there point to the side with a little drink in their hand because they scouting. They looking. You know exactly what they want. And they know they ain't it.
She advertised.
Most of the time, a pool party is a meat market. You looking to see what's out there, what's available.
Yeah. And that's the easiest way.
You have what you have. You're still looking to see if there's an upgrade.
Take the clothes off. And all the clothes is off. So I get to see everything I want to see. So I don't do pool parties.
Yeah, we fucked now.
Yeah, this is the summertime. We were just talking about it off camera, how we're trying to figure out now why the summertime is just a place where all of a sudden I get to see every man, every woman naked on social media. Why? Because
you shopping for the winter.
I'm like, the summertime is when you find what you want for cuddle season.
Yeah,
no, that's not what you do because you're done with that relationship. It's a slam bam. Thank you, ma'am. In the summer, I ain't trying. I've heard plenty of women say this in memes. I'm just waiting on my Prince Charming to come, but wait till the summer is over with. Don't come yet.
Because you building your roster in the summertime and you fine tuning it for the winter.
This dating shit is
we've
bullshit.
had to adapt the mentality of the people we go
after.
Shit,
it ain't no fits for
just
that.
trying to fuck for the summer. I'm just trying to fuck for the summer.
That's why they outside.
Nobody wants to be in a relationship in the summertime.
Nobody.
Be outside.
I feel like it would be great.
Right, I'm with you, but nobody. Yeah, the majority doesn't.
See, I'm not.
We go to.
Nobody wants to be in a relationship in the summertime. Nobody wants to be pregnant in the summertime. Nobody wants to get married in the summertime.
Yeah, you don't want to get pregnant.
Yeah, I was gonna say the pregnancy in the summertime probably sucks.
You can get pregnant. You don't want to be pregnant.
Right.
Yeah, big and pregnant in the summer. Oh God.
Because I'd imagine being pregnant, trying to walk down the steps to get in the pool. It's uncomfortable. Okay, that's what
all my kids' moms are pregnant. So
that's funny.
You ain't shit for that one.
That's why my baby's born in the fall.
Right.
That's why they was born in the fall and the winter.
Keep them inside. You're right about it.
Let's be honest. When you're pregnant, you probably don't want to be hot either, right?
No.
Okay. Well, then they was inside the house.
See, summertime just an excuse to get naked and be promiscuous, I guess.
You get to see if you can make yourself available.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah. That's whack.
It's like, what are we offering?
We got too much going on. We don't even just have the scope of STD. You can get COVID now. Like you can have. Why are we hooking up with
athletes look from being barefoot.
Like
and everybody else
we're not concerned about the dangers out here. That should, like, this hookup and outside movement should have been a health scare. Like, hey, we just left a pandemic.
They came back with a vengeance.
COVID was like, I'm still alive.
We
Bet
just
I'm
2
finna
years.
live my best life.
If I tell you how much syphilis is going back around right now, because everybody is outside. Oh yeah.
See what I'm saying? There should have been a health emergency. Every time somebody posts outside, the little health emergency thing should pop up. Yeah, the precaution sign, like, hey,
No.
Hey man,
You
y'all
gonna catch a
get y'all
thing.
friend that's a doctor, a nurse, some in healthcare, they'll tell you.
No. That's
You
not
be
how it
scared to
goes.
touch and do anything.
There's something to
but
do.
they know that shit.
There's
No,
something
they
to
don't.
do.
Got done walking around with masks on for 2 years.
Tim just said there's an influx of syphilis. I guarantee most people don't know
You
that.
feel like you can look
People
at
don't
it
think they're
from a
invisible.
mental-
They just don't give a fuck. Just don't give a fuck. Let's just call it what it is. Nigga don't think they're invisible. They just don't give a fuck.
And then on the
We
other half
live-
of that, there's
I
no
could not
value
live
in
like
being
that.
in a relationship for most people.
Black
They don't
people
value
really,
that. So
really feel
when
what
someone come around, they want to be outside.
Black people feel what Drake said. YOLO. You only live once. That's what we think.
It's ass backwards.
You only
You
die
don't
one
die.
time.
Yeah. You only die one time too.
One time.
And people really feel like, hey, if it was just meant to happen, it was just meant to happen. I don't believe in that. I don't give a fuck what it is. I believe you can control some of these things. You probably can't control everything, but you can control some of these things. I just, if something just happened to something while I'm gone, then it just happened. No. Yeah, that's not how I operate, brother.
Real.
It's just not how I operate.
They don't
People
have
really
no-
live life like, fuck it. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And that's how they live it. And that's the stupidity of it.
And they have a lack of self-awareness.
They just have a lack of smartness.
Because you don't give a damn about yourself if you think you can just be out, if you just on autopilot, when you got to be the one making these decisions.
It's something going on every day of the week in the summertime. Every day of the week.
And I get that.
Look
You still
at the
be
work. Look at the
Safe
work.
about it. Be
You can
careful about
you
it.
can do certain stats in the world. Look at the call-in rate in the fall and winter versus the call-in rate in the spring and summer. Look at the vacation rate in the fall and winter versus the vacation rate in the spring and summer.
Mhm.
Look at the PTO. We can go on. And I ain't been in corporate America in over 10 years, but I'm smart enough to know that's how I go.
Mhm.
That's just like we know, hey, summer bodies are made in the fall and winter. Why is it that everybody only want to come work out in the spring and summer?
Crazy to me. Makes sense to them.
No, it's stupidity. It's we do the total opposite. We do the total opposite of what's right. And we say that's right. And I'm saying that's wrong. I told y'all in time, we keep living. Normalcy is going to become weird, and weird is going to become normal.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're going. That's where we're going.
And
We're
it won't
getting,
even be that it's actually weird. It'll just be those of us who are older enough to say, back in my day,
It wasn't
that
like that.
was weird.
We didn't.
But
do
now
stuff.
it'll just be so normal because, to quote a quote from a cartoon movie, if
We gonna be at a
everyone is
pool.
super, no one else is. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
If everybody is quote unquote weird, nothing will be weird.
The stuff we talk about here on this podcast is gonna be like a time capsule to these people. It's gonna be like, yo, what? They were trying to figure out what?
Mhm.
We don't
Because
even
that- by that
do
time-
relationships.
Yeah.
No more. I'm with
Ew.
her, him, her, them, and those over there.
Uh-huh. I got 3 boyfriends and 2 girlfriends.
Right.
That's where we already there. Ain't where we're going. We already there.
But see, that's strange to
I'm-
us. We don't, you know.
It's strange to us.
But we're commonplace.
I'm as a man. If
You got
if
a
I was,
roster. You in
if
different
I'm
places.
single out here in these streets
Yeah.
as a man, I'm more intimidated by the woman that she calls her bestie than I am by a dude.
Damn. Why?
I am because she might be laying down with her too. Straight up.
The whole
Like
time
I'm
she saying, no, got
every-
no other
every-
boyfriend. I ain't
every-
talking to no other nigga.
every week.
Yeah, you ain't.
Every week you with your bestie, my eyes is cutting like, damn, y'all with each other
No.
every week, every
Yeah.
fucking week. Damn, what the fuck is going on? Oh, I'm at best friend house. You at best friend house? Damn, did you spend the night? You just was over there yesterday. I'm all over it because I'm in competition with the woman too. I ain't just in competition with dudes.
Oh my gosh.
You are.
Oh,
You are. If you in 2023, a man is
But
in competition with the man and the woman.
But shit,
Straight
honestly,
up.
women, y'all been in competition with them men for a long time and didn't know.
Right. You
That's
always
a-
at your homeboy house.
That's
okay.
a whole nother topic because I ain't
It's
never
the
been that
same
type of dude,
topic.
but it's the same topic.
It's the same topic. Shit.
Yeah, but you're in competition. You're not in competition with just the guys anymore. Not in this day and age. You're in competition with the women
Well,
too.
yeah, that's true. I'm just saying, if you came in and they was already closed.
I didn't know that because I wasn't there.
But you learn it at the same time.
If I come in,
y'all got a best friend.
Yeah, but damn, that's all I know. I don't want to know all that shit. So that's all I know.
Wait,
so you should know more shit.
Up.
You should know more
You
shit
just said,
than
I
like,
know that
oh,
shit.
you
I
have
don't.
even,
But
you have a best friend.
if it becomes
How long
a
you have
pattern-
your best friend?
But if
Do
it
you and
becomes
your
a
best
pattern-
friend sleep together? There should be a question. If that's a concern,
Right.
that's a question. You
Hey.
got a best
Wanna
friend?
know.
How long y'all been best friends?
When I meet them,
Cool.
I'm gonna know. I ain't gonna even have to ask.
I will ask. Do y'all sleep together? Y'all have sex?
Well, you're in a different life, so it's different. But I maybe you're right.
If it's a concern,
Right.
Mhm.
Well, it's always a concern.
cause shit.
but
I
you know what
encourage
men
women
think?
to ask they
Men-
shit.
Men don't think it's a concern. You wanna know why?
Why?
Because
Because
he thinking in his mind, well, shit, I can have both of them. No, nigga, they don't want you.
Mm-mm.
They don't want you.
And her
They're-
dick probably bigger than yours.
Straight up, like they don't want you there.
Damn.
They doing their own thing, bro.
So he probably don't even want to know.
So it's only competition if you're not part of the game.
No, that's not what I'm saying. It's
You ain't-
competition to me, no matter what. I'm selfish. So it's like, no. It's not. It's competition all day long.
Damn.
No, y'all can't be doing nothing on the
That's
side.
the world.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
What are we doing out here? This is the streets. These are the streets. And listen, probably age 27 and down, what we talking about right now, don't have no problem with it.
Mhm.
Straight up. They don't, that generation don't have no problem with what we talking about. They like, well, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's fluent.
Yeah,
They fluent.
they are.
No sexuality, just fluent.
But they watch the generation previous to them make it
Be
okay.
confusing
And make it okay,
Mhm.
essentially.
So I guess not wrong, because that's the objective to all of this is to create a better generation, right?
Mhm.
It ain't.
Think.
We've already done lived our life, and we done made the decisions, and we done been wrong, we done been right, and we done did all that. So now we're trying to influence a better generation of men and women. That's it. Which we just kind of correct what we see within our
Right.
generation of community and what we wish was the effect of it. And these people get to make their new mark.
Yeah.
You know, all we could do is be the influence and the example
Mhm.
of some sort. But they're gonna choose a whole nother experience, and
And they make their way.
hopefully they're better than what we are. You know, I'll have a better dynamic than what we.
Well, they're
What we
making their
have.
own. They're choosing their response to certain things. Like
Mhm.
the generation before y'all had their issues. Y'all created y'all's response to it.
Yeah.
The generation before me, which would be y'all, had y'all issues. My generation is creating their response to it. It's just depending on the response, depends on if the generation ahead of us actually likes what they say. Like
Yeah.
you said, that the generation after is becoming more fluid in dating men or women or being in multiple people partner relationships because the generation before us made a big deal out of cheating. You can't cheat if we all together in this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's their response. Some people like the response, some people don't.
Yeah.
It's
I
You
just
get, and you get to either be a part or you don't.
Or
I
you
just
Because
don't,
we can,
I don't get
we
where
can,
we got that from.
we
That
can
don't
keep
make
our
sense, but I
system the
get
same.
it.
You get what I'm saying? We don't have to. We can have monogamous relationships, heterosexual, then homosexual, whatever. You can have whatever individual relationship you care to have, or even a polyamorous. These are all labels we've created
Created, right.
for our different dynamics. We can live like that, or we can drop all the labels and live like what these new people, the new
They
generation
don't
want.
have. They be like, we ain't got no label.
But
we
the
just do what we
choice is
want.
still ours, even
Yeah.
as they're living theirs. When they become their 30s and 40s, and they're explaining why their world is that way, we can still be monogamous,
And do
lesbians
whatever
over
the hell you
here,
want
and
to,
monogamous heterosexuals over
Because
here.
y'all have lesbian, gay, and straight. Now there's lesbian, gay, straight, asexual, bisexual, pansexual, sexual,
Queer.
sexual, like transsexual. Like you got, they took what y'all had, and then they
Say, oh, you want to let them be themselves? Cool, but then we all
non-binary, binary, like
we
you got
all
everything.
can have a
Some
different
people
label.
identify as trees, whatever the case may be.
That ass.
I think we're just creating shit just because we want to do something different. So we've learned to, okay, I'm this way, but I'm not this way. So I'm gonna just create this. You
Mhm.
feel what I'm saying?
A different
So
label for it.
now,
A way to feel inclusive.
so it's
Yeah.
or a way to feel a part of.
Yeah.
So it's more so now
Same thing.
like how can I make myself feel a part of, but not be what they are?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we came up with, a hot fucking mess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not knocking nobody on your sexuality. That is not what I'm talking about. But I am saying that 3 things has transpired in the last 5 to 7 years. We stopped caring about sexually transmitted diseases.
Mm-hmm.
We stopped caring about how many partners we've had or have at one time. And we stopped caring about our actual individual selves. Those 3 things have transpired, and it became a whole ordeal, and nobody cares. Look, do your own thing, but don't knock me because I don't agree with it. You see what I'm saying? That's where the issue comes in, is that people are getting to the point now to where it's like, you gotta accept us. No, I don't have to accept you.
Mm-hmm.
It's my choice. I don't have a knock against anybody. I love everybody, but at the same time, if I don't want to accept you, I don't have to accept you.
If I can't see the world,
yeah,
that you
like
see
now,
it,
now we're trying to force feed it on everybody, and you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Either they like you or you don't. Just because they dislike you don't mean they hate you either. You see what I'm saying? I can dislike you but not hate you.
Mm-hmm.
I can dislike your lifestyle but not hate you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't dislike you as a person. I might dislike your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
See, we got to know the differences in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So now, don't come hit my inbox on my DM and say he don't like gay people. That ain't what I said. I'm saying the reality of this whole thing is that we all have a right to like or dislike whatever it is that we want. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Deal with it. But that don't mean I hate you. That don't mean I don't want you around. That don't mean I wish you dead. That don't mean none of that.
Mm-hmm.
That just means, hey, if your lifestyle, you like to rob, steal, and kill, I like you as a person. I dislike your lifestyle. That's not what I want to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. But people have blew it up. It is not okay to be out here saying, hey, I got 3 women over here. I got 5 dudes over here. And we all together and don't nobody know about each other. That is not okay.
Yeah, that same person
That
would
mean
be.
y'all ain't all together.
Yeah. That is
you
not
manipulating the situation
to
If
get
each
whatever
one
it
of
is
them
that you
think
want.
they with you,
In whatever
manipulating
category,
them.
whether it's sexuality, personal life
nobody cares
experience,
about that
whatever. If it's something I don't deem, as you could be, just like you said, the robbers and thieves. I don't like robbers and thieves around me, so you couldn't be around me.
Yeah.
Somebody that's just a serial cheater, you couldn't be around me neither.
Yeah.
And you're a serial liar, you can't be around me. None of that. It doesn't matter what category the discomfort is in. If you're just not my type of person to be around, you're just not my type of person to be around. Right. When it comes to different sexualities, I don't mind people in a different sexuality, but if I'm unable to see the world as you want to see it, like if I know a girl that's trans but I can't, she ain't trans, but she's identified, right? So if she identifies as trans, but I don't yet see that, I just choose just not to talk to you. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Because it's not that I don't. Well, I don't have anything to say, but more than that is I don't see you yet the way you want to be presented, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable nor confuse myself. Yep. You know, so I'm not sure how to further this here, whatever it was, because you're different now, and I want to respect it. So me respecting it is me, staying out of your way.
Leaving it alone. Right.
Staying out of your way, because I'm not yet there to be like, oh yeah, now you want me to call you such. I'm gonna slip all the time. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna call you that name at all, whether your old name or new name, or you go become who you gonna become. Okay. Right. You go ahead and become that, and let me be okay with you doing that.
Right. Because if your name Robin, I'm not calling you Rufus. But
that's kind of where the world is going. Is you gotta be okay with people making those little
right now
changes about themselves. Like I want to identify as Steven, and y'all are like, well, Black, why? I said Steven, and I don't have to tell you why that happens or where that came from, and that's gonna be hard for people.
I'm gonna be like,
because it's hard for me. I do it. I did. Now I said, go ahead, baby. Hey, boo. Like I can't call you nothing because I don't know. I feel weird. You feel weird.
Yeah.
And I even have a younger client that's transitioning as well. And I guess it's almost easier for that baby because I didn't meet her as her old name.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I didn't meet her as something else. Like
Understood.
I met you transitioning, so all I know is this.
Right.
But when I know two different versions, I know who you were prior, and I get it. You can
Right.
be who you want, sure, but I'm gonna have
It
a
just
hard
doesn't
time
mean
adjusting
that you transition.
at the same
at the
time.
same
You know,
time.
so
I ain't transitioning with you mentally.
I'm
I
trying
can't.
to be
That's gonna take
comfortable
time.
Yeah.
with it, and as you become comfortable in yourself, I guess I will learn it
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be around you.
if I'm there. You know. Yeah, and I remember a guy when I was in Alabama. He was really feminine, big beard, loved him to death. I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name right now, but you remember what I'm talking about? Yeah. I love that. I love how he carry himself, you know, and I'm okay with how he carry himself. But I was also concerned about the world, you know, because what you're doing is different and new.
It's manipulating too.
It's
to a
different and
degree.
new. You can, you know, not really, because they get to be themselves. It don't matter if it feels forced upon you because you're not like that or you don't understand it. But it was just, you got to be careful too, because not everybody are going to be comfortable and careful with you the same way. You should live in your truth. Yo, do your thing. Look as good
Absolutely.
as you feel you should be.
Absolutely.
But you got to know our world haven't transitioned the same. And it's not as safe of a place for you being as open and free as it would be with their understanding.
I tell people all the time, like I have, you know, a couple of gay people that I train and gay guys, and they cool people. Look, I want you to be yourself. Just don't be disrespectful to the people that are around you. That's it.
Yeah.
I want you to be you, but don't be disrespectful to the people that are around you. If you feel like being you is going to be disrespectful, it's not.
Yeah.
But if you do something or say something that is disrespectful to the wrong individual, then you got to understand where they're coming from just as much as you want them to understand where
Where
you're
you was
coming
coming from, yeah.
So be prepared.
This is a cause
Be
and
you.
effect world.
Be you, but also do it with respect.
Absolutely.
And that's it. It's a way to and I think when I explained it to those people, to those guys, they understood.
Absolutely.
Bro, I don't have no heaven or hell to put you in. I like you because you're a good person. Hey, you come in here, you're a client of mine. I treat you as such. But you got to understand that what I feel and what everybody else feel might be different. And I'm not saying they finna run you up out of it. I'm not gonna let nobody harm you in here. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying you make sure that you're respectful and that you have a relationship with whoever it is or whomever it is that you're talking to. Because you don't want to make somebody uncomfortable thinking that you can just be freely yourself. And now you've offended this person over here. Because just as much as you can be offended, these people can be offended too. So it goes both ways. And I think sometimes we get so hell bent, whether you straight or gay or LGBTQ plus, whoever you are, we also stopped for us. We're forgetting that the person on the opposite side of me has a right to feel whatever it is that they feel too. Don't be so hell struck into your way to where everybody else way don't matter. Because when you like that, that's when you have your issues.
It's several barbershops I had to leave because me being a lesbian confused them that the fact that they was attracted to me and I like women, you know? So it was like, well, you know, you're going into a barbershop like that as I started dressing masculine to have that job because I felt like, it's because they, you know, can't see me like a woman, you know. That's what's confusing them is I'm acting like the homie and looking like a woman, you know. So I had to dress down. I do sport attire for a year and a half, 2 years straight. So I realized, you know what, you can't be in this space. It ain't about them respecting you to a limit. They're men. You don't give a fuck about no women. You know, it don't matter how cool I became with these women or how much I did help them or how much of a rapport we built in here. When you seen pussy, you seen pussy. So I had to say, you know what? Fuck y'all getting comfortable with me. I'ma leave. Oh no, you don't have to go. You can't. Because I've been here long enough to know that regardless of what type of person I show you in or how cool I show you, are always gonna see pussy. If I bend over the wrong way, you looking at my ass. If I'm talking a certain way, you're trying to figure out this. If I mention me liking women, you're trying to figure out where you fit in that equation. And that was just me realizing like you amongst 10 other men. Even if you can't be friends with one of them, 9 of them waiting for you to slip. Now I'm waiting for you to have a window somewhere they can pick their little head in. You know what I mean? So I had to realize you can't be in spaces to where you have to be the sacrificial lamb. When you're the sacrificial lamb, or when you're the one that has to change your identity or your perspective or something, it's time for you to change your environment, not to change the people in that environment. You should bounce because you're no longer safe there.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you love everybody in that room. Their mentality would change your safety.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because if it was somebody they came in there, they may not been the one to react. But if it was somebody, a guy that came in there and be like, man, I don't care nothing about you like your women. I'm gonna get this, and pushed up on me, and they agreed in a way because she is fine. She does got on that little tank top. That's why he did that, because she was showing up. You'll start making excuses for him because you think that way too. I had to remember, you have to protect you, baby. Fuck you trying to show them you a good person or you one of the homies. You get out of there before one of them men react to you. And unfortunately, that's just how I've had to be in barbershops. So when you can't just be in, even here, when I moved here, yeah, we was all cool, to them sides, but let me come in there looking nice. They're gonna make sure they come down there and tell me how nice I'm looking. Hey, Daddy, this is a tree, but the wrong tree. Okay? I don't need your compliments. And unfortunately, I got to be mean and stern with you that way because you don't respect lines. If I don't say nothing to you, you're gonna think it's always okay for you to come tell me how good I look in these jeans today. I don't care about how you feel about me and my jeans ever. So I need you to keep those thoughts to yourself. And if you can't keep those thoughts to yourself, I can go. Yeah. And that's when the owner of the shop had to say, "Oh, she's not bullshitting. Don't be fucking with Black. Don't go down there with that bullshit. Because I'm gonna air this motherfucker out." Straight like, I don't give a fuck about your respect level. I don't give a fuck about your penis. Because I shoot that too. You know? What I care about is me. And me being able to be who I am, wherever I am.
Right.
And if I can't, then that's for me to identify as this is safety hazard balance. But it ain't for other people. I should be able to be lesbian and comfortable being lesbian. I'm not attracted to men. Why is that offending you? If that offends you, that somebody's not attracted to you, you're a rapist. You want something somebody don't want to give you. And I'm going to tell you that. Now we're in a situation. You know? So that's why you got to be mindful of who you trying to be and then who you trying to be that around. Because if it ain't your space, it just ain't your space. This is a big old place. It's a big world. And when I left that barbershop, I found 5 more, you know, that I can comfortably be myself at. You know, I didn't need that, but until I had the balls to say, you know what? Back up. Like I said, I was there 1.5 years, almost 2 years before I say, no, I don't care how much money I'm making here. I gotta go. You know, because our world will put you in a box of saying, oh no, that's just how it is. That's just how men is. Because I told myself that for a long time. That's just how they is. You are in the male barbershop. So yeah, no, fuck that, slide. It's better environments. And those men then, they still watch me everywhere I'm at, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, wherever they, you still watching me. And oh man, I miss your energy. I miss that. And you wanted to fuck me. And I know how many times I had to tell you I'm not interested in that. Or I'm lesbian. None of that mean anything to you.
One and another. But
now it's your way of saying, telling other people you knew me at some place, some way. Oh, I miss this. Oh, you weren't concerned about none of my talents then, my energy then. What you was concerned about is if Black gonna wear those tights with that shirt again. You create an environment I couldn't be myself, but you get to watch me and tell the world you knew me at some point. You all was rapists. You all are pedophiles. Every shop of men I've ever been in, I know your mentality. I seen it on all of them. Like, damn, you too. Damn, I remember you fixed my car and told me I was your little sister. And look at you.
Damn.
Willing to throw that away for some pussy. So I know the mentality of that demographic or in that generation of men. So it's not wrong for these kids to try to find a label, a different window, because I literally experienced trying to be myself without fuck everybody. I just want to be me and be safe doing it. And it wasn't a safe place.
Right.
It wasn't a safe place until people started to respect these other generations, this new generation coming through, making their own market label and saying, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna be it anyway. Fuck, I'm gonna wear this beard and these nails. That's when they left the lesbians alone.
On to the next.
On to the next, you know, and unfortunately, I'm in a fight with you. I'm in a fight with them. No, do what the fuck you're gonna do. And if we gotta burn this bitch down, we gotta burn this bitch down because the fight is gonna continue. Just like it went from black men to other, and it kept on, and the fight is gonna continue. So if we don't stand up to the ideal of people being themselves and the comfortability of understanding people gonna be different, the fight is gonna continue, and I'm gonna stay in that fight because I was once
that person.
Yep.
the one being beat up on.
Right. So, yeah, I'm not gonna ever tell you look nice in any outfit.
Depending on what it is, I'd be like, mind your business. Like dead ass, because I've experienced too much with that.
That's trauma, though.
That one
That's
little
trauma.
That one little compliment to turn into you walk me to my car now. You get what I'm saying? Or you saying, oh no, black, boy, I will fuck you up. You know, because I've experienced that. It started with one thing.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, like I was dead ass assaulted by a person I loved, my homie. He had the spare key to my crib. That's my homie. You get what I'm saying? But you don't know the mentality of people sometimes.
And it changes. It changes. I think Black had her closing thoughts.
Yes.
And I don't have any closing thoughts. So no videos today, man. Till next week, people. I'm the Beast.
And I'm glad.
Hey, we out. Peace out. I don't have it.